Manchester United through to the final of the FA Cup to face Manchester City, but that really isn't the story this evening. Liverpool with a really classy 3-1 win over Fulham. We'll be delving into both live here on the Full Fan reaction show for you this evening. But I want to start this video at the top by congratulating Coventry. I want to thank them for what was an epic FA Cup tie, which was a classic. It will go on in the memory of football fans forever. It was almost the greatest comeback in the history of this tournament. And if I remove myself as a Man United fan for a moment and just look at them, I actually feel sorry for them. I understand their pain. And they would have been the deserved victors of this game, without a shadow of a doubt, if that goal in the 120th minute had have stood. It was offside. It was marginal, but it was offside. If that goal stood, they would have walked away with the most historic comeback in my living memory, if not the entire history of the FA Cup. It would have been one of the greatest moments in cup football ever, on any continent, on any planet, in any universe. And I want to congratulate Coventry as they come out of this the sort of moral winners and the people's champions in many ways. And I wanted to start the video with that. Some of you might not see all of this, but I wanted to start by congratulating them on everything today. Yes, their second goal took a big deflection. Yesterday, City fans said their penalty wasn't a penalty, the handball on Grealish. There's some conjecture there. We're going to get into all of that. So some could say that some Man United fans start say, oh, one of their goals was lucky, one wasn't a penalty. I'm not having any of it. They were dead and buried at 3-0 down, and they fought back, and they wanted it more. And they don't have the technical players Man United do. They don't have the depth and quality Man United have. They don't have the infrastructure, the money, nothing. And they were a hair's breadth away from completing the greatest comeback ever. And I want to take some time to pay homage to them and congratulate them for that. What I am going to say is this. Manchester United tonight, the fans in the stadium, fans all around the country, the hell are you celebrating? I know you could argue we're in the final. What do you think Man City are going to do to us if we perform like that? We should be booing that performance. We should be dragging those players over the coals. We should be absolutely ripping into them in every single which way. That was an abomination. Yes, we're through. Yes, there's relief. But as I've been saying for a long time, these performances will be our downfall. Another lead that we're thrown away, and we've done that multiple times in recent weeks. You then factor into this situation what's going on with our inability to cope with adversity. As soon as something starts to go wrong, this team capitulates, it falls apart, it has no spine, no guts. This is a team, they're a mid-level, what are they, 8th? Basically middle of the table, higher middle of the table, championship team. And we are scraping past them. We are scraping past them in a semi-final which we led 3-0. There is no celebrating from me. There is no gloating from me. There is barely even a raised smile. I'll start with the players today. Decent for 60 minutes. The first goal goes in, and you just see all the bad habits come out, the panic, the worry, the lack of mental strength we have in this squad is absolutely horrendous. Shrinking violets everywhere. Coward after yellow belly. throughout this entire team. I'm sorry if what I'm about to say offends anybody, but these are men. They are fucking eunuchs. There is no balls on that football pitch. Nothing. Limp, impotent, flaccid, weak little men when it doesn't go their way. Horrendous. So many of these players over the next summer or two need to go. I don't want fair weather players. I don't want individuals that play well or have good moments when the going is good. You need people that can persevere through the wind, the wet, the rain, the snow, the sleet. That's a metaphor. I don't literally mean the bad weather. You need people that can persevere through that. We don't have it. Weak. And then Ten Hag. For months, and I don't know if they're in the comment section right now, and I couldn't care less, to be fair. The likes of, and I'll name some of them, the likes of King Cantona, etc., that always come at me. Terry, why are you nicer about Arsenal than you are Man United in Ten Hag? Because of tonight, you pleb. Because of the last week or two. Because of the last year. Over a year now. Abysmal performance after abysmal performance, after wasted money, after throwing away leads, after bottling opportunities. This man today, listen, we played well in the first 60-odd minutes, and he was partly responsible for that. He then takes off Garnacho and Mainu, who are two of our best performing players, and the team absolutely loses its shape. We concede. We start to bottle it. We panic when we're in possession. Everybody, including, by the way, the players that came on. Anthony did it consistently. Ahmad did it consistently. Everybody looking to be the match winner. Everybody looking to be the hero. Instead of playing as a unit, playing as a team. And that stems through leadership, through coaching, through drilling and management. Now, we know this goes beyond Ten Hag. This goes deeper than Ten Hag to the way we've been run over the last decade. This is what we have created. This is the embodiment of how we've been run for a decade. We know that needs to be changed. But anybody that seriously stands behind this manager and this group of players as a whole and wants any of it here next season, I think you're a fool. And I'm sorry for that to sound like an ad hominem attack. I just mean you're a fool when it comes to your footballing opinion. You are blinded by loyalty and love, and you are misguided, and it is foolishness to stand behind this. It is absolutely foolishness to stand behind this. It really, really is. It is absolutely crazy. And I, for one, believe that tonight, Erik ten Hag should be sacked. He should be removed from this football club, given his P45, paid off, and never set foot in that training ground again. Never pick another team, never give another team talk, not one training session. He can't even touch a cone. He has to go. Do whatever you have to do. Get an interim, get a part-time manager, literally go and get a PE teacher out of a school in Manchester. I guarantee they can do a better job before this final. We need someone to come in and build a little bit of solidarity and fortitude and strengthen this team in a good shape in the next month, because we're going to go up against Man City in the final, and we could be heavily, heavily embarrassed again on the world stage. He must go tonight. He absolutely must. It's imperative. It truly is. He was an absolute embarrassment. He really, really was. And he made terrible in-game decisions. His team, by the way, we lose our minds when things go wrong, but that's because of how poor our system is and the players know it. I've already criticized them. A lot of them need to go. So nobody says, oh, Terry's always defending the players. That isn't it at all. That's only what people say that have no argument, that no I'm right about the manager would say. But I'm embarrassed. I'm frustrated. I genuinely feel a deep sorrow for Coventry. They were so unlucky. A lot of people in the comments are saying they were robbed. Now, I'm not going to go that far. They were absolutely, they were offside according to the technology that's being used. Unless you can show me evidence that they were onside. They were offside, so the goal should have been disallowed. As bad as we were, the VAR shouldn't say, oh, it's offside, but we're going to give it onside just to hurt Man United. We're not going to go down that slippery slope of nonsense. So to say they were robbed is crazy to me. When people say never offside, it's an objective decision. show me that he is onside, and we can have that conversation. Until that point, I'm muting it because there's no evidence of a robbery. We weren't given a lucky penalty. We didn't score a goal that came from a foul that should have been disallowed. So there's none of that to talk about. But we were embarrassed. And I think you guys focusing in the comment section on the robbery, I'm going to give you a little bit. You're missing out on the actual banter by saying it was a robbery. You're wasting your time typing that because that isn't really what the problem was today. But as I say, I'm embarrassed as a Man United fan. I'm actually embarrassed that the fans were singing at the end and cheering the players. I know they've paid a lot of money the day out. They're happy to maybe through to the final. But I always remember watching Sir Alex Ferguson do an interview when he won a cup final in Scotland with Aberdeen. And he just ripped into his players even though they'd won. And I watched that back obviously years later. I wasn't born when that happened. But I looked at it and thought, that is a manager. That is, the standards are there. Shamelessly celebrating this today is an abomination. This isn't a hard-fought away Premier League game in the midst of a title race after a bad week. This is up against a mid-table championship team that you were 3-0 up against after 60 minutes. The story is different. The situation is different. And I am absolutely fuming. I want to go to some of your super chats here because I know a lot of you have got stuff to say today. I'm just going to bookmark when this started. This is Defo confirmed VAR is cheated and rigged. They wanted United City final. It was corruption. Let's actually call it for what it is. VAR is corrupt. Now, Nav, I'm going to say this to you. If VAR was corrupt, I appreciate the super chat, but if VAR was corrupt, let me tell you what it would have done. They set a precedent yesterday by not giving Jack Grealish's handball because his arm was on its way down. They could have done the exact same thing to AWB. They wouldn't have given the penalty if they wanted a Manchester United City final. So I don't understand how VAR is corrupt. It was offside. It was given as offside, and that's it. If they wanted the final, they would have disallowed that penalty, and they could have just used the precedent of, well, we didn't give Jack Grealish's. This was fairly similar. So I appreciate the frustration, but there's no conspiracy or cheating here. Otherwise, you wouldn't have given the penalty. It makes no sense. Ten Hag needs to go. Next year, we start with a new board, new coaching staff, and add better players. I agree, Charlie. You're spot on. I am not impressed with the mentality these players have shown this season. Sick to death of Rashford's selfishness. I'm scared shitless to watch the final. Listen, Rashford did my brain in today. A huge key culprit in the problems at the club. As long as the right money comes in, because I don't want to selling people too cheaply. But even then, I'm open to conversations. A lot of these players have got to go. I agree. Chelsea and Coventry got robbed. Disgrace. Again, you need to explain why Coventry got robbed to me, my friend. They didn't get robbed. It was offside, but they probably deserved to go through. I would agree with that. A great performance by Coventry. This is from the Bill. How Grealish was not a penalty, but this was. Rashford needs to leave. He is a disgrace. He should be subbed off for Ahmad. Look, I'll say this about it. Listen, City fans who I want to hear from when it comes to that penalty, because they said categorically it wasn't yesterday. So I want to get their opinions on this. I said it was. Therefore, I'm sticking to AWB's. His arm was out really wide and it was coming down. I'm going to stay consistent. So I'm not overly against it being a penalty, but I'm more challenging why yesterday's wasn't given if this is one. Especially if they didn't even see yesterday's because a corner wasn't given. Thank you, Shirim, for renewing your membership. Congratulations to the media for today. They wanted the narrative of a Manchester derby final. They got it. United limping over the line like Jim in the marathon. See, again, Paul, I don't want to defend my club here, but I'm going to have to disagree with your point. Didn't you hear what the pundits in the... it depends what country you're watching in, to be fair. You paid UK, so I'm assuming you're watching it on ITV. I think whoever they were all the pundits were talking about how they were celebrating when Coventry scored. You could hear the commentators disappointed when their goal got taken away. The media were not setting up this narrative. The media were you listened to them during the game. They wanted Coventry to win. And by the way, rightfully so. You should always want the underdogs to win in an FA Cup game. Wait until you hear Ten Hag say in his interview that they deserve to win. Oh, listen, I don't know. I'm not even going to listen to it. I can't listen to that man speak. Fergie will never let these United players survive. I agree. They got cheated by VAR, not United, but VAR, they should have won because it's little Coventry. Football, again, but if VAR wanted to cheat them, why would they give them the penalty in the last minute of the game? That's what you've got to answer that question. If you believe in conspiracy theories, I will ignore them if you don't answer the challenges back. So please answer me now this direct question. If they're trying to cheat, not Man United, if VAR are trying to cheat Coventry, why would you allow that penalty in the last seconds of the game to be given? Please answer that question, bro. As a neutral on Ten Hag, I was neutral on Ten Hag, but after today, he's got to go. Most of these players have to follow him. The facts will depend on a 19-year-old tells you everything. I agree. And look, a lot of people have DM'd me going, Terry, I was always against your Ten Hag view, but I get what you were saying now. And it's why me and Staffy fought so hard against Hussam on Friday when he was saying, you'll win easy. And we said, we might not. We might not. And look what happened. We know our team. We know our club. Listen to us. We're not playing it down like Hussam and all the Liverpool. Listen, all the Liverpool and Arsenal fans all week. Oh, we're going to lose to Wolves. We're going to lose to Fulham. It's all over. We're getting on to Liverpool later. Look what they did. You're lying when you're playing your teams down. You don't really believe it. We do. The most pathetic performance of the year, like you said, Terry, was a bunch of cowards. And I said it recently. Somehow, how anyone can defend this, especially after this, is a championship team, disgraceful team ever. I agree with you, mate. You're spot on. VAR did its job and got the call right. It's clearly offside. Those crying robbery are everything wrong with modern day fan banter era. Yeah, there's far more things. If they're going for the low hanging fruit. There was no robbery, but they could certainly banter Man United. But they're ignoring the banter, which is right in front of them, and they're going for the robbery tactic, which makes no sense. Sack Ten Hag will be the same next season. No, we won't. No, we won't. No, we won't. Equally, that's not a reason to keep someone. If I have a bad hairdresser that messes my hair up and I'm looking for a new one, I might pick another bad one. But just because I might pick another bad one and I might not get a better haircut doesn't mean I should let the person who butchered my hair continue to do it. Like, think about the logic you're using here. Equally, no one's asking for Ten Hag just to be sacked. We're asking for a big player overhaul, and we're getting the restructure when it comes to the board and directors. Nobody is asking just for the manager to go, and that will improve us. So please don't reduce our opinions. Please don't reduce our opinions to purely the manager in and out. That is not the conversation, my friend. Nabil says you are a fool if you think Ten Hag needs to be sacked because of all these players will get their sixth chance to do it again. Well, firstly, most of these players didn't play. None of these players played on the Moyes. Most of these players didn't play under LVG. Most of these players weren't in the cup final of the Europa League for Jose. So it isn't the exact same players year in, year out, first point. Secondly, again, Nabil, what you are deliberately doing, which ruins your point, you go for the ad hominem attack and you ignore what's being said. So please answer me this question straightly. If you don't answer this question directly, I'm not going to read your comment out. Not because I'm being rude, but because we're trying to have a dialogue. So please be grown up about it. Where did I say that we are just sacking them? I want just the manager sacked. Did I not just say sack the manager, big squad overhaul, new board of directors, new technical director? The fact I've said all that and your comment is, but you're keeping all the players is crazy to me. Never said it once. Please stop lying. Stevie Wonder is on VAR's debut. First time in God knows how long a team has gone for it in extra time, and it was a championship club. I salute Coventry. They nearly pulled off greatness. They did, and I feel for him, Gunnar. Like, I genuinely feel for him. I wonder how long it took Terry to prepare that speech straight after the kickoff, bro. No script. I don't need a script. I don't work for the BBC or Sky or TalkSport where they have directors and producers and scripts. Even most content you see that for like the betting companies, all of that, you realize that's all scripted. And they turn up and tell the content creators what we're talking about. This is what you got to say. We don't do that on YouTube. We don't need it. We're far more skilled than those people. Start a petition to get Coventry in the final. It's funny. Anyone not named Onana, Garnacho, Hoyland, or Mainu don't deserve a single penny from the club. My gran could have made better subs. All bloody frauds. Listen, I actually thought Hoyland had a really poor game today. Took his penalty well. I'd actually take his name out and put Bruno into that. I didn't think he individually had a particularly poor game. Based on what he's good at doing, he's a creator and a goal scorer, and he did those things. As soon as Eriksen came on for Mainu, the midfield was being run through. Garnacho just so much better than Anthony. The substitutions made no sense whatsoever. They were awful. And I will thank Onana. Good save in the game. And look, he stepped up and saved the penalty. He couldn't do much about the goals they scored, in my personal opinion. So not a bad game from him. Terry, I was on the fence, but Ten Hag has got to go. Legend. What's the offside, Terry? The guy is level robbery. But we've seen lots of these ones that are really close. It's not a robbery to me. It's the technology that's there. Equally, by the way, remember when Garnacho's was offside? I didn't say because it was that close, it was a robbery. I said it was offside. VAR gave it. My energy be the same. Understand why people need Ten Hag to go. I have to say he's doing a terrible job, but why waste your breath remembering just the Glazers still own this club? It's a really good point. But based on what you're saying, we should just stick with this squad and this manager then and just let it fall apart. And it's not act like changes that come in, Oral. Jim, Omar, Wilcock have a big job to fix us. They certainly do. Rashford is has Ten Hag nudes, I'm sure. Yeah, listen, I'm going to say this. I don't even know how hurt he was. I think he just walked off because he didn't want to play anymore. That's how it looked to me. Rashford limping off so he can't take a penalty. Do the Lord's work in the summer, Sir Jim, and loan him to Nottingham Forest. I like that a lot. I'm going to bring the panel up. We are going to move on and chat Liverpool later in the show. So please stay with us for that. We've got a big panel for you with KJ. We've got Sky. We have Michael. We have Pav G, Sunshine, Rax joining us as well. Strasbourg, Steve, Sam are all coming on the show to have their say right now. I do want your thoughts and feelings. Please hit the like button for the terrace, maybe not the result in itself. I'm going to bring everybody out now to have their say on the game proceedings and everything else. I need to slow down because my chest is feeling tight. I don't think I'm about to have a heart attack. I just think it's the overarching energy, and I'm just going to cool down a bit and relax because honestly, my head's hot. But I could have a fight right now. I'm not going to have one because I'm a grown man now. I'm in that kind of mood. Right? And who on a panel do I feel like Sam's from the ends? G is Sunshine is. I know KJ. KJ's not. KJ's not from the ends. I met his family. You know when you were younger and you went out and you were like, "We're getting into it tonight, boys," because I'm in a bad mood. I'm in that kind of mood. If I was 21, I'd be having a scrap tonight on the road. But welcome everybody. By the way, I don't advocate that behavior. It's foolish thuggery. Don't do it. KJ, talk to me. I'm just going to go straight to you, bro.
Shameful. The most shameful and disgraceful, disgusting win I've ever experienced in my life. Honestly. Before I get into Man United, I just want to applaud Coventry because they 100% deserve to go through. 100% deserve to go through. And they were a baby hairs away from competing one of the greatest comebacks in FA Cup history, and they're probably their greatest win in their modern history. And that was taken away from them due to offside. And you know what? Rules are rules. It is what it is. But on their performance, they never gave up. They showed the mentality of a team that are together, that have vision of how and where they want to be. And on the opposite end of the pitch, on the other side of the pitch, our team, Manchester United, showed none of that. We got 3-0 up, cruising. You're looking like, yeah, you could probably win this game 5-6-0 potentially if you just keep everything together. And as soon as one thing goes in, as soon as Coventry changed the way they played, instead of sitting back, decided to actually put it on us, we folded. As soon as they put us under a little pressure, we folded. And we conceded another cutback goal. Great, well-taken goal by Sims. We conceded another deflected goal. And we conceded another penalty in the dying moments of the game. All three of those goals that we conceded today it's been the biggest issue of our defending this season. And all of it played out in one game. And I don't want to hear nothing about it's the injuries. Oh, it's the players aren't good enough. The players aren't good enough. We know that. The system is so bad that this can happen on every single occasion, no matter who we play. This could have been a League 2. This could have been a Conference League North side. And they still would have made that comeback today. Why? Because our structure is poor. Our style of play is poor. Our manager's tactics is poor. And our mentality is poor. All of those things are poor. And these cowards left it until penalties to decide to show up and show they've got some kind of bottle. And even then, I think Casemiro missed his penalty on purpose. Casemiro's checked. He's checked
100%.
At one point, he was running with a winger, and you could see my man's like, yeah, I can't do this. I ain't gonna do it. Like you can see it. And you know what's even mad? I don't even blame him. I'm like, I don't blame him. He's a 5-time Champions League winner, one of our best players from last season, being asked to do absolute foolishness on this football pitch. The way that we play is not good enough. The way that we fold is not good enough. And you know what, yeah? Sir Jim was in the stands, seeing that live. Wilcox was in the stands, seeing that live. That rat, that flipping pagan, Avram was in the stands. I don't care about him. You can do one. I don't care about him. But Wilcox and Sir Jim were in there in the stands watching this live. One thing I know is that this man ain't surviving. No football CEO, no owner, no technical director can see this and think, yeah, this is what's going to going on. This is the way we want to play football. And so I know he's done. So Jim, you know what to do. And for the rest of the season, sack him now and bring in Ollie. Because at least Ollie would have a defensive structure. At least Ollie would have a defensive structure and know how to score goals on the counter-attack and has beaten Pep so many times. On a one-off game, you're telling me who you have faith in, Ollie or Ten Hag, to beat Pep.
KJ, I love this.
You're all laughing, but you know the answer's true. You know the answer is true. Let's not lie.
The emotion. Here. That's the emotions talking.
No, it's not. Ollie, you're Sky. I like you. But listen, tell me all this is any better than am I back?
Just about.
Nah, he's gone.
KJ's internet.
As soon as he said Ollie, it was done for him.
No. I think I'm back. Tell me, answer this question. Anyone answer this question? Was Ollie's football as bad as this? Whose football was worse? Ten Hag this season or any of Ollie's football?
Nah, Ten Hag's miles worse than what Ollie was doing, man. Like the 7-0 at Liverpool, this whole season. Nah. You're talking about the end, yeah? Here's an idea. Let's go drop this boiled egg off to the ends for one night. Let's see how he survives. I don't even care. Don't let this guy on the bus. Don't let the players on the bus. Drop him in the ends. Whoever comes back, it's cool, innit? You can play next week. But nah, none of these lot need to. Like, a lot of them can go. And this manager, he's the biggest liar that we've ever had at this club. The amount of lies that have come out of his mouth. This guy wants to talk about, he's not had his first 18. He's had it once, mate. There's other managers in this league, you know, who have had injuries. Not one of them moans about it on a weekly basis like you do. Today was like, I didn't know. I knew we were going to go through, but the performance today, oh my God. That is the worst I've seen since post-Fergie. That performance there is the worst. Like even the Chelsea game when we lost in the last minute, the draw against Bournemouth. Who else did we play before that? The Brentford game. Oh my God, this has got to go down as one of the worst games since post-Fergie. And this manager, he doesn't even deserve to manage the next game. If I'm Ratcliffe, I'm walking to that dressing room and telling him to go home. Don't even bother coming to the training ground tomorrow. You don't deserve to be here. That is poor. And these players as well. And like KJ said, Casemiro did that on purpose. That penalty, that was worse than Bernardo Silva. Yeah, that guy's done. He already knows what's coming in that final. We're going to get humiliated. We're going to get clapped. That final, I don't even know if I want to watch it because I already know what's coming in that final. These players are checked out. Other than maybe Maguire, the rest of them were poor. Wan-Bissaka, what are you doing? Twice you've done that. Giving away a penalty now, yeah? Playing at left back right at the very end of the game. Like Marcus Rashford, what has this guy got other than pace? You can't even dribble anymore. Like, what? This guy needs to go. I would line all these players up, yeah? At a car boot sale. Come there and bid for those players. Because that's what they deserve. They need to be put on a bidding war, take them to a car boot sale, each and every single one of them, other than Kobe Mainu, and sell them all. None of them belong here. I don't even care about Garnacho, any of them. They're all poor. They are all poor. Get rid of all of them. I've had enough. And this manager, I swear to God, you're the worst manager that we've had at this club since post-Fergie.
Pav, I hear you completely.
Can I ask my question? Whose football was worse? Whose
Well, no,
football
yeah,
was worse?
no. People did answer when you were bugging out.
I don't-
Everyone agreed. And listen, KJ, I'm going to say I don't think it's a bad shout. To the end of the season, 4 or 5 games, I would take and have more confidence in Ollie right now for 4 or 5 games than I do this manager to win us a trophy. That actually makes sense. Cam, what did you make of today? Started well. The manager made crazy subs, and before you knew it, we were hanging on to dear life to a mid-table championship team.
Bro, you know that feeling you're talking about? You could go out and fight. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I'm always happy after wins. Today was the first. Like I'm always like, whatever we won, it's happened. No, I couldn't. Like I also lost. I lost money today, so I'm a little pissed off. Anyway, we are trash. Like so, when I think about the manager at this stage, like it's done. Like I'm so happy Sir Jim got to see it. I got a really good picture of this dude sitting there. Like, this 71-year-old man just ran a marathon, came to Wembley to watch this game, and he looked like he was ready to go onto the pitch and just lose his mind. So when Man U came off, first off, the subs were like crazy. There's still 30 minutes left to go in the game. I know we were cruising, but you take Man U off and instantly we lost all control of the game. It was kind of cool. One player shouldn't have that big of an impact, but you should know having a midfield 3 of Scott McTominay, Eriksson, and Bruno is not going to work ever. Just isn't going to work. I think the only player, and I know everyone's saying every player can go, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I actually think Manu can hold his head high. I think Bruno was fine today. I have nothing bad to say about Bruno. I think he played a good game. There's moments, even one moment when they're like, oh, Bruno slowing up play, not making the pot. I was like, he was doing what he had to do. Bruno had a good game. Everybody else, I can't defend Rashford after today. That's rough. I will say, Terry, I think you're off base with the injury thing. I think he was hurt. I don't think he faked an injury. The way he pulled up, it looked like an actual, just the way he pulled up, he looked actually hurt. He just, Casemiro, I actually believe when I saw that, I'm like, he bet on Coventry at the half. I couldn't believe that penalty. It's like, for me, we're talking about players a lot. Everybody's talking a lot about the players, but a lot of these players play for their country. A lot of these players are way better than the players that were on the other side of the pitch. At the end of the day, the biggest problem today was the manager and his tactics. Like, I get it. The players they're trash too, but realistically, we were cruising until the manager messed everything up with basically all the wrong calls. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, yes, that was brutal. It's a tough one, right? Because in the City game, it wasn't given. But when I saw it, I'm like, yeah, it's going to be given. I'm not going to argue it. His hand was up and came down, and it is what it is. That's the letter of the law. I think anybody saying VAR robbed them that's ridiculous. Like he was offside. Like, that's the whole point of it, having it there. If we lost on that I get it. Coventry deserved to win based on how they play, but if we lost on that, that's also not good for the game. So I think anybody saying like, fair. Oh, VAR, well, it's like it did its job. I don't know, man. My head's pretty hot. I won't lie. The fact that we looked so bad all game. Like Rhino, I appreciated. He came in this group chat. He's like, I didn't want to ruin the vibes when we were 3-0 up. I didn't want to tell everybody how bad we looked. We all knew it. And then when he said it, he's like, this wasn't that. He said it 3-1. You said it at 3-1. Like, you're basically like, we're cooked if we keep playing this way. So that's crazy to me that I was hoping you were wrong, but you were right. At 3-1, you're like, if we keep playing this way, like, we're in trouble. And I agree with you, KJ. Like, at this point, Ollie's football was better. Like, people hated on Ollie because of who he was, and he didn't earn it, this, and that. But at the end of the day, Ollie played better football than this. Ollie would have saw this game out. We would have won this game 6-1, 6-0. Like, Ollie would have destroyed these guys. There's no doubt in my mind that Ollie showed up, and he would have destroyed these guys. So, yeah, Ten Hag's got to go. Yeah, I agree. I used to say, like, what's the point of attacking him now? Like, I see it. Just get rid of him and, like, at least – I don't know. See if the players are any good, because that'll give us a good idea.
Yeah, I hear you completely on that, Cam. Sky, what was your take on the performance today? I don't know what to say. I'm at that point at the moment with the club where I'm just done. But yeah, give us your thoughts, please.
Yeah, so I am pretty much on the same, I guess, train as everybody else. I am hot, like fuming at what I had just watched. And I genuinely feel like we got away with murder. Like, I feel sick because I feel like we didn't deserve that. And like everyone else said, kudos to Coventry. I personally would have wanted them to go through more than us because we didn't deserve that. And like Cam said, and other people have said, there have been so many games and matches this season that we have not deserved to win. And it kind of was a band-aid over the cracks. And I feel like today the season just needed to end with this loss for us to really evaluate and look at ourselves and be like, this is how terrible we are. To see, and to me, when you look at Manchester United over the years, right? Why did people hate us? Why did people not want to play us? It's because we didn't die. We always fought. We were always in the game. That's Manchester United. And for us to come out like this, and now people look at us like a joke, where it's like, oh, we can do whatever we want. Manchester United can always bottle it. That to me is the most embarrassing thing because that's not who we are. I'm looking at our team and I'm like, where's the leader? Yes, Bruno played well, but he still's not a leader to me. Where's the person who's going to get everyone together and say, we conceded a goal. Okay, let it go. Focus and finish the game. We don't have that. And that's the issue that I have with this team is there is nobody there to settle us down, get our heads back in the game and just refocus us. That's the issue that I have. To see us, we were up 3-0 with 70 minutes left, and then we're tied. That is embarrassing. I am so upset with the way that we performed. And I agree with you, Terry. I don't understand how anyone can be happy with this, how you're celebrating this. I am ashamed of what I just saw. I think a lot of players need to be reevaluated at this club. I think that Erik ten Hag definitely needs to be fired. I would prefer tonight. But this is not Manchester United football. This is not what our club stands for. This is not who we are. And I am so done. I'm so done.
I think a lot of people will concur. I'm going to go from Sky Sunshine to another Sunshine. Long time no see, bro. Your face speaks 1,000 words, in my opinion, mate.
Oh, bro, I just tapped out, man. Like, I'm not emotionally invested in this team, man. So, from you know me from the longest, from the start of the season, bro. I said certain things would happen to this team. Agreed and fair play. Some of the factors I didn't factor in terms of injuries, in terms of certain signings that were available, not stepping up. But in a nutshell, I kind of foresaw us going backwards this season. Did I think it'd be this bad? No. Did I anticipate how can I put it? In my opinion, at certain times, did I anticipate the pressure coming from a fan base onto a manager when I didn't think it was necessary? No. Maybe I should have foresaw that because we've seen it many a times. That's why players get away with it and managers don't. You've seen it over the past 6 years. Use the facts that are there. 1 year, amazing. Second year, managers in a situation, and then boom, players get away with it. We live scot-free. It is what it is. So maybe I should have foresaw that as well. But today was probably the worst performance I've seen and worst result, man. And to me, Terry, like it or not, I may say some things that are not going to touch on the heartstrings of those that are feeling how they feel right now. But for me personally, I've said it before. Rhino's in the chat. He can concur. I've said it in the group chat from a long time. Doesn't matter what team we play. Doesn't matter who it is. Our mentality on these players, the moment they shit hits the fan, they can't hack it. And if you can't apply your talent means nish batty to me. If you don't have a heart for application, if you can't apply what you're good at or you're meant to be decent at, doesn't matter about tactics, doesn't matter about no manager. And this is, again, transparent across every single manager I've seen before. So nothing I'm saying has not been seen before already. It's just the fact that we're living in this moment now and we're hoping we can kind of overlook what we've seen with other managers and go, yeah, something's going to be different. And I think it's going to be the same every single time. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm saying all this. Today was the worst performance for me that I've seen Ten Hag do in terms of substitutions. No one was saying shit at 3-0. No, I wasn't celebrating goals, don't get me wrong, and I don't think you guys were either. But no one was saying, oh, Ten Hag shit at 3-0. It was only when he made the substitution.
Rhino was. I'll give Rhino that.
And for me personally, when I look at the substitutions, yes, Garnacho didn't play very well, neither did Rashford. However, the naivety for me from Ten Hag came from, if you know your players all season haven't got the mentality to maintain 3-0 leads. If we're Man City and we're 3 up, Liverpool 3 up, I understand, give certain players a rest, Kobe Mino. But right now, bro, you're fighting for your job. Like, shit's on the line. Yes, it's Coventry, it's a semi-final, but there's no way you should be leaving on Rashford when there are worse players to take off first. Okay, you need to sub Garnacho, do it 70th minute when you've definitely clarified that they aren't scoring 3 goals within 20 minutes. Because that can happen in football. But for me personally, those substitutions make no sense to me. And like you said, Terry, as soon as flipping Manu came off, what happened? Absolute flop in midfield. And it got worse and worse and worse. Now, I will say this before I end. Massive credit to Coventry. Were they the deserving team? 100%. Anyone who says no, they're just not football fans, respectfully. I don't think anyone can say that. Even if you're 10 hog in, doesn't matter. Like, regardless, like, Coventry deserved that. But it's been the season. It's been the season for us where we just haven't got the mentality to apply ourselves. And I think this is not a case of something that's been happening every single game, which most fans will tell you. It's been a build up to this. And this is why I say players always get away with shit, because we've got a new culture now, Terry, where because they've not been accountable for previous managers and situations because they get away with it, those same crop of players from 3-4 managers ago are still in there. That mentality is still at our club. And this is why I've said no matter what manager, what players you bring in, that mentality is going to be adapted. Until we have a clear out. By the way, I will say this, because obviously I know some people in their feelings, it may jog people's, how can I put it, attention when I'm saying these things, because again, obviously a lot of people are 10 hog out. However, what I will say is there are situations where if Ineos say 10 hog out, I'm cool with that. I've said that many a times. It's not an issue because the structure is there. I've got no issue with that. But what I will have an issue is if players like Rashford are getting extra contracts and not being sold. There are certain players that need to get gone, like adios. Like, you're not carrying the right mentality to bring our club forward. You haven't got the bottle, the mentality to play for that badge, even if you're 2-0 down, 3-0 down, because the wages say so, and
I agree.
The club is player power 24/7. I'm sick of it.
I agree with you, and I think even if some players like Rashford next season look great under the new regime when the going gets good, what we have seen from so many of these players is they can't handle it when the pressure's on. And say we become a team that's challenging again, they're going to crumble because we know they can't handle pressure. So the acid test is there on that. And by the way, I agree. When we got to 3-0 up, I wasn't happy. I was okay. Then I was thinking, right, go on now and score 4, 5, 6, and we can say good result, a bit of a party. The fact we went from that to 3-3, I just don't think anyone can be happy with that at all. And Sunshine, appreciate that, mate. We will come back to some more. There's a lot to get through. Rhino, talk to me, brother.
Listen, I'm going to take my time when I speak because I don't want to get this channel demonetized there. So I'm going to take my time.
Thank you.
Yeah. Look, Ten Hag is a con artist. Yeah, he's a con artist. You know, when you go to those magic shows and they put someone goes and sits in the box and they just disappear and there's some sort of trick behind it, or when they put the sword through, you're thinking, how did the sword go through? And then they've slit through the bottom. Ten Hag is a con artist. He has scammed his way into a FA Cup final. Let me say something here. Look, at the end of the day, yeah, everything everyone is saying is right, to be fair. In terms of the series of years we've had under different managers, the same culture, the player power, all of that is right. But here's where I disagree. I feel like we just haven't had the right manager. That's the reality of it. Obviously, as well as factoring the structure around it, because that plays a very big factor in this whole thing. Like, any manager that comes into this sort of system is going to struggle because of the way we buy players, the wages and all of this stuff, the way we get rid of players and all of that. But I don't think no one has come and been consistent with their direction. These players looked lost to me. When we were 3-0 up, actually, when we went 1-0 up, I kind of thought to myself, okay, let's see how long they can keep the lead for. Then we went up to 3. I thought, okay, wow, say no more. But I felt embarrassed how we got to 3-0. I felt so disgusted. I felt so uncomfortable watching that game. We're playing against Coventry, people. Coventry. And these Premier League players cannot do nothing against this team. But my thing was, they didn't even know what to do. Forget even trying to figure out that we can put someone like Ahmad and Eriksson and maybe Anthony to control the ball to try and unpick a low block. They just didn't even know what to do. They were passing it around. They were guessing, should I run? Should I come back? There was no direction. So for me, this was freestyle football. This was improvisation. This was initiative. This was, let's think of it on the go. That's what we saw right now. That's what we saw in that game. It was absolutely shocking. And
It's not
then on
even
top
that,
of
bro.
that, go on.
It's not even freestyle, because at least freestyle is fun. At least freestyle, there's a little bit,
Ali,
little bit of sauce. This is
There's something there. There's
this is
flair.
Ian
There's
Beale football.
Yeah,
Ian
yeah.
Beale. I got nothing left football. This is what this is.
Their players didn't know what they were doing. They didn't have no idea. And that, for me, goes straight to the coaching. And maybe they're throwing them under the bus. Maybe they've said to ourselves, you know what? Like, and what a bit of what Neji said, these players have decided, you know what? Let's just give up and let's just throw in the towel. But I'm absolutely embarrassed to support this club at this time. And just to see that we're struggling against teams like Coventry is shocking to me. I just can't believe it. Then we're 3-0 up and then we let the lead slip. And then they could have even won from the offside. I said to myself, offside or not, I'm not hearing it. So I just feel like Ten Hag has definitely lost the faith in these players. And I just think that if there was some sort of direction and we could control the games and the players had a bit of idea of what they were doing, we could hold on to leads and that would help their mentality. I think if there was some sort of foundation that he set and there was a belief in the players from the manager, that at least could get us through the games, and then we can start working on the mentality and start, because think about it like this. If you have a system and a style of play and you just know what you're doing and you're sailing through the game, 1-0, 2-0, 3-0 up, that breeds more confidence because it's easy. And then you just know what to do and you just keep on doing it. By the time you know it's 6-0 and you're thinking, yes. And then at that time, you can just use the direction and plan of the game to just defend. You don't even have to be on the back foot. You could just use the style of football and the system that you've installed into that game to just to see the whole game through. And that's it. So I think because we've never had no direction, I know there's been managers in the past that have had some sort of style. Maybe it's been a bit more defensive and whatever. Now we're trying to play front foot. These players can't do a lot of things, but you just need to look at last year, build a foundation, and then work on it from that. And another reason why I disagree on the whole mentality thing, to a degree, it makes sense because new players have come in and they've adopted it. But you can't tell me players like Casemiro, players like even like Martinez, these players that have got strong minds, even someone like Dallo, they have their bad games too, and they don't have bad mentalities. But it just feels like these players have just lost direction. You've got Anthony. Anthony's coming from a signing. How many signings has Ten Hag made that even these players that we thought would be a bit different? I know you can say, okay, maybe they've just been infected by whatever's at the club already. So fair enough. Everyone's just poisoned from the poison that we have at this club. But I just think with no... Yeah, go on.
Broski. But that's been my point forever. Like,
if
there is a culture, it's like you've all seen the rotten fruit analogy. You can have whatever type of fruit together. If it's moldy, you can put fresh fruit next to it. It starts to build mold. And I'm looking at that as a mentality thing. That's how it's always been for me. So yes, you can bring in players. Don't let's not get it twisted. We were gassed when Malacia played his first game, when Anthony played his first game, because we saw them actually trying. Most people's comments, if you go back to it, were like, raw. It actually looked like we wanted to play football. That's how it starts with every single manager. With every new manager bounce, whenever there's a nice little bit of momentum. But then to maintain something is a completely different thing for me. And I've always said that we don't have that within our culture anymore. We don't have the never die attitude. And I genuinely believe it's because we've let so many players have new contracts based off one season where they've been amazing. And then we can't get rid of them when the next manager comes in and says, I don't want to work with that player, not because he's shit, but because he doesn't fit my personality or style. Then it becomes an issue. So now you're having these types of players, which then goes into their mentality. And again, it has a knock-on effect for the next manager. So every new manager that comes in has to then deal with the previous issues and the previous issues. We've all seen, again, I'll give you one more analogy before I end my rant. We've all seen the healing video with the Coke in a glass and how much water it takes to then remove that Coke, right? Yeah? It's no different. But every time a new manager comes in, people have been adding Coke and then they have to keep adding water. It takes time.
Yeah.
So for me personally, this is why I do sympathize with any manager that has come in. That's why I've said there are consistency with every manager that happens. However, it does not put to bed certain things that managers are doing that are wrong. It's just the simple fact is when a manager makes a mistake at Man United, it's amplified because we're more desperate. And this is the issue.
Hang on, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. No, I totally agree. And I think Rhino, your point, we haven't had the right manager at any point in this 10-year period. On top of that, we haven't had the right structure, which is actually before these results was the biggest reason I wanted Ten Hag to move on, because I feel that he has been tarnished by everything that's gone on, and I want a completely fresh start. But I just want to show some footage that someone just sent through to me. It won't be copyright because it's from someone's phone, so we can play it. any Man United fan who's saying you should be celebrating like crazy, just look here. And that's a little bit small, but just look here at our players when Rasmus scores this penalty. Barely any of them run and celebrate. That for me, again, I'm not defending these players per se, but that there tells you that they are embarrassed, and
Rasmus.
rightfully so. But you know it's deeper than just I had a bad game today. You know they're looking at this saying we hate how we play, we hate how we drilled, we don't feel confident. And of course, it isn't right that some of them put in those performances. I'm not defending them in that regard, but I've never seen a celebration in a semi-final where barely anybody runs to the winner, and 6 or 7 of them just stay standing on in the middle of the pitch.
I thought the exact same thing when I saw that, man. I was like, they're not even going to celebrate because they know.
But the thing is, I'm glad they did, because if they did, I'm glad if they actually ran over and celebrated, that would have been the most shameless thing.
It certainly would have been. Michael, give us your thoughts, mate.
Yeah, I genuinely believe that Manchester United are the worst club in Europe, like playing wise. I watch all the top 5 leagues. I promise you, Strasbourg, if you go to France, Lorient, all these clubs, Serie A, Cagliari, all those clubs play better football than Manchester United. Today, bro, if you win a semi-final, you should feel happy. No matter who you play, you should feel happy that you're going to an FA Cup final against your rival in Manchester City. Like you have a chance to avenge your loss from last year. Now, when we go into that game, we're all thinking we're going to get battered because Coventry, by the way, shout out them. But if they approach the game from minute 1, the way they approached it after minute 60, they would have beaten us today. Because their players before the game were talking. They're like, it's just Manchester United. We're not afraid of them. We're happy that we're playing them instead of a Chelsea or Manchester City. That's how far we've fallen. Coventry players feel confident going up against Manchester United. In the old days, United beat you before you even walked onto the pitch. They beat you in the tunnel.
Yeah.
Now they look at us in the tunnel and then just laugh. That's what it feels like. Their goalkeeper, Coventry goalkeeper, bro, he wasn't scared in the penalty shootout. He was chirping every single time. And Bruno was like the one that did that. And then Anthony was cupping his ears after the game. He's the only one that like had any celebration to him. How dare you be that shameless? Because you came on the pitch at 3-0 up. And you were a big reason why we conceded the first goal, because Dalo was overlapping him and he wanted to shoot from 30 yards out for no reason. That's Anthony. So when Ten Hag goes, the first person he should take with him is Anthony back to Ajax, Amsterdam. Always, sometimes it's good to reunite with your ex. Go back there, man. That's what they got to do. Christian Eriksen.
Yeah.
A couple months ago, he was talking about, I want more minutes. I want more minutes. Well, now we know why you're not getting any minutes. Because the fact that Ten Hag subbed him out when we're winning a game and we need more legs because you know Coventry are going to go at you, and you're bringing on someone that has no legs, that looks like Casper the Ghost in midfield because he just can't run there. They were just walking right past him. So easy. Our best player is the 18-year-old Kobe Mainu. The second best player you can maybe argue is after Dalo or Garnacho, who shows any heart. And then the third best player today you could argue after Bruno was Omari Forster when he came on. He's the only one that came on and looked like he had something. Yeah. So we're looking at kids that are the ones that have to carry Man United. I know that's happened in the past, but when you look at all those players out there, it's the kids. Casemiro, KG's right. That penalty might be the worst penalty I've ever seen because he did not look interested in taking that penalty. He just wanted to hit the ball and then go on with his day. Because he even grabbed the ball right away when the coin flip happened. He grabbed the ball and he just walked there waiting to do it. He's like, let me just get on with my day. I have somewhere to be after. Saudi Arabia's calling my name. I only got about 30 more days until I have to go over there, enjoy the sunshine and everything. That's what he wanted to do. So that's meant to be one of the leaders at Man United, because that's what they talk about. Varane, Casemiro, the leaders, the 5-time Champions League winner, all that kind of stuff. He didn't care today. And Højlund, I feel bad for Højlund in the sense like he also has to read the room. Bro, you should know your teammates are probably not happy. I know you want to celebrate you scored the winning pen, but
no, leave Rasmus be, because that's his dream.
No, I know.
He's still a Man
United fan. He's a United fan, so
and if he missed as well, you'd have got all the pelters.
I mean, he did have a bad game. He did have a bad game.
Yeah, he could have saved us if he had just shot when he turned.
Yeah,
on.
I know. That's the thing.
I do hear that. I want to read out these comments because obviously we want to get through the United. So we've got the Liverpool boys backstage. We're bringing them in. Ten Hag has just said this.
I thought you weren't going to listen. I thought you were just back.
I can't help myself. I'm calming down now. He says, it was an incredible game. A strange game too. We had total control for so long and then gave it away in the last part of the match. This is my favorite bit of the story.
No.
He says, we can't say this group doesn't have the right mentality because they showed character today. But in the final part, there was just a slight lack of discipline. We did show great resilience to win the match.
He's gone.
You know what it is.
No manager speaks like this when they're safe. It's delusion. He's deluding himself to think he's okay.
Let's
He
go.
knows
You
he's
know,
on.
your mate, and you're like, oh, where's I'm gonna make a woman's name up here that I don't know. Veronica. Where's Veronica today? Oh yeah, she's staying at a friend's house, I think. Oh, how long she been there? Oh, a few days. When's she coming back? Oh, I don't know. Are you happy about that? Yeah, I'm fine. You know, when they're putting inside because they don't know where she is, right? Do you know what I mean? She ain't at her friend's house. You know what I'm saying? She's with Jacob. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what's going on. Who's
You know
Jacob?
what
I don't know, but yeah, he looks hurt, bruv.
You know what the sad thing is about Ten Hag and his kind of trajectory at United? He came in talking that Billy Big Bollocks talk. He was talking crazy when he got here. Errors come to an end. We have to be about discipline and standards.
I'm different from other girls.
Exactly. Oh, what's it called? We looked at the running stats and I ran with the players because I want to show them that I'm part of the team as well. All that talk out the window. Now it's, well, just be happy I'm here. You know what I mean? It's all a bit mad for me. I'm not gonna lie. And I think I would feel better. I would feel better if I believed that he knows what he's doing wrong, or he talked about the issues at United that everybody can see. You don't have to do the behind closed door things. You don't have to expose players, throwing them under the bus, etc., etc. But if you just said we played crap today, we got out lucky. It's just one of those. It's football, but we know it's not good enough. We have to do better. If he said that kind of stuff, I would be like, all right, he sees what we see. Let's give him some time. But every week he says, we deserve to win. We're the better team. We have the right mentality. We fight.
That's cut, bro. That's cut. Listen, you don't have to rate a manager. Listen, I'll be honest. I'm one of those people who will happily say you don't have to like a manager, yeah, just to then lie about his name. Let's not do lies just because you don't like a manager. I'm cool if people don't like a manager, don't want him, no problem. Let's not lie about things he said.
Where did I lie?
Win the game.
You say every week. Okay,
Yes.
maybe if you're exaggerating it, because I'm a literal person.
No, he's not.
Okay, cool. So if you are being literal, then to say every week it's, oh yes, we're the best game, we deserve to win this. It's not. Let's be honest. That's just taking parts of what he's saying rather than looking at the entire thing. There's been many times when my man come out and said he's not good enough, haven't played well. We could have controlled this. Many times. So let's not do this, man. This is crazy.
There are specific moments when we lose the way. We either play a certain way and get a result, or we overcome something. That as a manager, you just need to be honest. And because the fans we're not dumb. Yeah. Most fans are not stupid. We have eyes. We can understand what's going on the football pitch. So for him to come out in these moments and say these things when we clearly know that wasn't mentality, that wasn't character, that wasn't showing cojones. Yeah. Is insulting our intelligence. That's what frustrates me. Because I'm with you.
I can appreciate that.
I don't appreciate lies on people either. But in this moment, what these is saying, I understand.
No, I get it, and obviously there's a little bit of not exaggeration. There's a bit in there. But he can say loads of things that are right, but if you throw that other bit in, I think it diminishes the rest. And I want to play this clip here, right? Because this was Sir Alex after winning a cup final, and I know Sir Alex is the GOAT, but I want to see a little bit more of this from any manager at Man United when things don't go right.
Disgrace of performance. Were you surprised by the way that Nolan McLeish won a cup for Aberdeen? Well, Nolan McLeish played Rangers themselves. Disgrace of performance.
He basically says, I think he said Alec McLeish won it today by himself. He says we're one of the luckiest teams in the world. We're an absolute disgrace today after winning a game. And I know that you maybe wouldn't use that language in 2024 as you did in that was either the late 70s or early 80s. But there's an element in that where you want to say, I'm really happy to be in the final. I'm really happy with the penalty shootout, but I'm disgusted with not them, but like our performance today. I think if you just did that and let it down, I actually think that would also generate a better atmosphere in the dressing room. I had a parent like this. My dad was the strict one. My mum would do a lot of shouting, but me and my brothers knew we'd get away with what we wanted. And I think Ten Hag almost does a little bit of that. Doesn't matter what he says or does, he picks the same players, he defends everybody, he never kind of holds anyone to account. And again, I don't think adults are that different from kids at sometimes. When you've got the opportunity to nosedive and underperform because you get away with it, human beings naturally gravitate towards that because it's easier. It's especially when you're being paid 200 grand a week. It's very easy to cut corners if nobody's holding you to account. So I think there's a real important element in that. Before we move on to Liverpool and do the rest of the super chats, Sophia, what are you saying? How are you?
No, I'm fine. I mean, it's the same old crap every week, of course. But what's a bit funny is obviously, you know, I wasn't here for the beginning part of this stream, but the fact that none of us are really happy. We went through. We should be happy, but we're not.
Got eliminated.
The performance was, of course, horrendous. I mean, I still am trying to figure out how we were 3-0 up, and then it's 3-3. Very close to it being 4-3, but due to the offside, of course, we go to penalties. We go through, but I feel nothing. I'm just baffled. It's the same crap every single time. And I feel like if we have a little bit of an ounce of chance for that final against Man City, we need to make sure Ten Hag is not there managing. If we have to have Darren Fletcher, I'll take him instead. Heck, I'll do it. I'll coach. Anybody but Ten Hag. I can't watch this no more. I am mentally and physically, emotionally drained. Tired of this. Watching there's no joy of watching this. I feel bad for Coventry. They deserve to win. They should have gone through. And the fact, like you guys were mentioning, with Lou celebrating that penalty and none of the other guys running all over to, you know, celebrate with him, that makes it very clear this was a embarrassing performance. And even if any one of them would have actually celebrated, I would have been like, nope, go, leave. I hope that we can potentially hear a Fabrizio Romano, here we go, Ten Hag is sacked. We probably won't hear that. But I don't know if you guys knew, but Sir Jim Ratcliffe was at a London Marathon. He ran. Coming back and watching this, I feel bad for him.
Listen, I guarantee you that marathon was less painful than watching that game. I guarantee the marathon hurt him less. Sophia, exactly. I 100% get where you're coming from completely. Just changing the subject massively. Bayer Leverkusen scored a 96-minute equalizer to maintain their invincible thing away at Dortmund. They're inevitable this year.
I was watching that game and Fulkrug scored in the 80th minute. I'm like, oh, wait, never mind. Leverkusen equalized. Who cares? I was just like,
there we go. Some super chats and stuff here I want to do before we move on to Liverpool. It says, been watching you too long to know it's not scripted. Of course, I'm not scripted. It'd be impossible. Let me see. Steve supports Coventry as well. Do you support Coventry as well, Steve?
No, but I thought they were going to advance today, and I was actually going to give you credit for advancing, but I don't think y'all want to hear that. Because I genuinely thought they were going to advance. I wasn't surprised that you bottled a 3-0 lead to them. No. Coventry City, over the past 2 seasons in English football and all comps, have scored 11 minutes past the 90th minute. 11.
Yeah, they did very well. I felt bad for him. Terry, VAR chose where to draw the lines. That part is not automated. Not saying it's corrupt, but certainly there is room for human error. Now, I understand that you can argue that point, but it's the same for every time they give it, isn't it? So I think that it's one of those things for me that I look at and think, I don't think it's corruption, and I don't think they were robbed. KJ, for 5 or 6 games, Ollie isn't a bad shout. I agree. I
think it is. To be
even KJ 2D Cam reps Man United, real supporter. He is on point. Yeah, I got that there in the end. I don't want to hear anything about Rasmus ever again. How does McTominay make better runs than the striker been this entire front line? What I will say about that is that Rasmus and him together make the right runs, and that's why one of them, like when they play together, I know McTominay gets the goals, but it's the run to the near post that helps the run to the far post. If it's just one of them making a run, it's easier to mark them. So I don't necessarily think it's a negative on Erasmus because McTominay gets onto it. It's a collective. Ollie has 8 games versus City, 4 wins, 4 losses.
How many trophies for Ollie?
This FA Cup when he comes in.
We're down for that. We always say we have better players than our opponent. Do we? Yes, we do. We do. The reason why Man United scrape through so many games is because there is individual quality on display. And we definitely have better players in Coventry because especially the starting line 11 today. Do we actually prove it at some point they are better? Yeah, by the position they finish in the league most years. That's the barometer of how you judge players in a team. We don't look at United as a joke. You are a joke. Thank you, Chris. I'm celebrating like a rock star. Good game, Ten Hag. Oral Campbell, you are shameless, bruv. 3 cup finals in 2 years, 1 season, 1 more season for Ten Hag. Screw you. Although it would be funny to have such a bad team and bad manager win 2 more trophies in that time than the likes of Chelsea and the likes of Arsenal. That would shamelessly, I'd love to celebrate that. Do you know what I mean? Also, to win a bigger trophy than Klopp on his exit would be amazing. Like, I would celebrate that shamelessly. I would. Unlike Coventry, we deserve to be embarrassed with City in the final. If we can't play Eriksen and Anthony with Coventry, how poor are they? Need an overhaul. I agree. What a disgrace. I'm embarrassed. Don't care. We won. Not good enough. City will destroy us. Coventry are 8th in the championship. Scrap and restart. I think everybody agrees.
Man City in the final for some weird reason. Even with Ten Hag in. I don't know why.
No, don't. This you don't want like that.
No.
We could be 5-0 up with 10 minutes to go and still lose that game. That's how bad we are. That's genuine. That really, really is. Would Jose have gotten more out of these players? Yes, until he starts to mistreat them and loses the dressing room. So again, it's yeah. I mean, short term, again, if someone said now we could have Jose for the last 5-6 games of the season, I'd take him because we've got more chance of winning with Jose at this point, in my opinion. When you look at how we're performing, and it's about how badly we're defending. That's my issue above and beyond everything else. It's really that. And that's taken a while to get round to it because obviously our game was just an absolute classic, really. It
was amazing. It was amazing.
I bet it was a big, and it was probably even nicer that you guys won fairly comfortably today because you could probably watch the Man United game with a little bit more relaxation. But Liverpool, just like Arsenal yesterday, really stepped up and sort of kept themselves in this title race and set themselves up now to potentially go 4 points clear of City with another win midweek and keep this title race alive.
I think we needed this, though. Do you know what I mean? I think with everything that kind of gone on in the last week, poor performances, crazy games, losing to Atalanta, getting knocked out of the Europa League, and all of that kind of stuff. Today wasn't really a great performance. I won't sit there and lie, but
sorry to put in just before you land your main points, but I'm going to shoot, man. So it's been an absolute pleasure, man. Always enjoy, man. Cool.
Big up, man. But yeah, no, it wasn't the greatest performance, but we got the 3 points and we got the 3 goals and we move. And I think right now, that's all that matters. That's all that really matters. Just get the 3 points. We move on to the next game, get the 3 points, and then we've only got 5 games left, so no one cares really about the performances anyway. He rotated the team, couple shocks in there in terms of the lineup for some people, but I think it was probably kind of needed. Players looking tired, off form, all that kind of stuff. To then get the 3 points with 3 goals, we move. That's all I think for now. That's all in terms of Liverpool fans. That's all we care about right now. Like the performances, they're not going to get any better. It doesn't really matter. Just get the 3 points, and then we can move, and then we'll see where that kind of takes us.
I had a question for you, G. Shout out, man. Obviously, do you think that needs to be your 11 going forward?
It doesn't really make a difference. You can have any type of 11. I think it won't make too much of a difference purely because we know Klopp. He's going to revert back to his normal 11 for the next game anyway. So I don't think that team anyway was really good enough to keep you going to the end of the season. I think it was one of those ones where you saw the first half and you saw the second half. Second half, we upped the level, but that first half wasn't really it was. I didn't understand.
First half, yeah,
and typical Liverpool concede a goal. It's just the way it is. It doesn't matter what team you play. It doesn't matter what players you put into whatever position. We play the exact same way. So the fundamentals are always going to still be the same. Hence why we look open at times. Hence why Fulham get in at times. Hence why it looks like we may concede at times. But Terry mentioned there about Manchester United and Coventry. Quality will always, more often than not, quality will always tell at the end of games. And that's kind of what happened with Liverpool. We've got more quality than Fulham in those kind of pivotal areas. Eventually, you hope that will obviously come to fruition. Doesn't always work, though.
The only strange bit about your game for me was Trent's free kick was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I can't understand how he didn't take the other one 2 minutes prior.
Terry, I don't know. Maybe it was he just told Harvey, you know what, I'll give you one today. But listen, brilliant free kick. He's been all right since he's come back, if I'm being honest with you, in terms of the performances that he's putting in. I wish he would stop playing hero ball every 2 seconds, but overall, he's doing his thing, man. He's doing his thing.
Yeah, he certainly is. And look, again, I thought your performance, as you say, it wasn't the most scintillating, but I thought you were strong. Fulham attack, and they generally create problems for people, especially when they're at home. But I thought it was a really good response, as you say, to a bad week, really, for you with the points dropped and going out of Europe. And just like Arsenal demonstrated, I think kind of went against the tide of what a lot of fans had said, because most Liverpool fans we had on the show last week expected to drop points in this game, if not lose. And the players had other ideas. And I think I think even just from the outsider, no agendas, it was just good because it keeps the title race alive. If you and Arsenal both drop points this weekend, it almost certainly ends. It does almost end the league title. And what a horrible last 4 weeks it would be with no top 4 race, no title race, all the English teams out of Europe. It'd be crazy.
The maddest thing is, though, I don't really want to take it to the last day and like lose it by a point.
Emotions.
Yeah, like I feel like I'm not really. We've done that already like twice. Like I really don't need to go to the last day again to still lose again and then be in the same bit. Like I feel like if you're gonna just lose it, kind of lose it a bit before that, just so that we don't. I don't need the last day.
It's true. I always remember watching the X Factor. People were far more upset when they got let go at judges' houses in the first audition. So I do get the later you go in the tournament. Maradon the Moron here says, because it was more on the for a left-footed Terry, shaking my head. Listen, no disrespect. When David Beckham was at Man United, I wouldn't say Trent's as good a free kick taker as Beckham, but he's very, very good. Beckham took it whether it was central, left, or right, because he has the ability to curl it into any corner still. So when it comes to Harvey Elliott standing over it with Trent, it doesn't matter if it's on the left or right. Trent is exponentially better at free kicks than it was Harvey Elliott that took that. So he should be taking it. It's as simple as that, my friend. I know you always want to defend Liverpool no matter what happens, good, bad, or indifferent. But come on now, you've got an elite level dead ball free kick taker versus Harvey Elliott. He should be taking every single one unless he's having a stinker, in my humble opinion. I really do. But no, I get what you said about not wanting to go out, but it was good for yourselves today. Few players rested and whatever else. And it's who's your next game? You're away again, aren't you?
Everton.
Away.
Derby.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like, and again, this is where it's like, obviously he's rested players, but I feel like it's not even really about the resting because some of them were just out of form. Like, Salah out of form, Dominic Szoboszlai out of form, McAllister getting leggy. Like, there were just players who were just out of form, and you almost feel, I can't keep playing them, keep playing out of form, and then you go into another game, you don't play well, you don't necessarily pick up the 3 points or whatever happens, and then, you get yourself into an even deeper hole than, you're already in, and then the season then literally just goes flat.
Who's home for the Merseyside derby?
Goodison.
Everton, yeah.
I feel like you guys are going to win. Don't you always win the Merseyside derby?
Yeah.
No. Listen, look.
They draw. If they do anything, they drop points by drawing, but they don't lose against Everton.
Listen, look. It's Merseyside derby, and I think with the way that Everton, everything that's gone on with them this season, the points deduction and things like that. Listen, they're going to be amped up, and they're going to want to stop Liverpool.
Yeah. Because they can. It's a bit like Chelsea are going to be like that on Tuesday when they play Arsenal. Man United fans will be like that, especially at the ground when they play Arsenal. The title race is still on with a game to go. United fans, because Man United, it stays at this point gap now. If Man United was to beat Arsenal second to last game, that literally ends Arsenal's season. So,
Harry, would you want that? Because you want Arsenal to win.
No,
I'd want them to put out a youth team to secure.
I've said it before, Steve. Like the Man United fan in me, on the surface, you go, I'd want to win the game, but I stand by it, and no one's giving me an argument as to why I'm wrong. A team like City doing not just doing a 4-peat, they can still win back-to-back doubles for the first time in Premier League history. It would also be the third time that Pep has done a Premier League FA Cup double. I don't want him getting any of these records. Do you know what I'm saying? Which is why
United to lose versus Arsenal.
Will we?
No, you want Man United to lose versus Arsenal.
Sort of, again, it's such a hard question to answer because I'm torn on it. I'm split on it. Like there is a part of me that says no, I don't want to lose any game. Like there was when Rasmus scored that penalty, there was a part of me that was like, thank God we won because I wanted to win still.
Yeah.
And it's similar, but I was still frustrated. So I would be happy that we won in some instance, but also, we're just giving City that. I can't answer it straight 100% because it's too multifaceted to give it a straight answer, in my opinion, mate.
I heard somebody say, I think it was Stephen Howson, to be fair. He said, here's what we're going to do as United fans. We're going to ignore whoever wins and we're going to laugh at whoever didn't win it.
Yeah. And that's
my stance is this. If Arsenal have won the Premier League before they play us, then I want to smash them. But if they need us to give them 3 points to be secure that Liverpool or Man City don't win the league, here you go.
You're a gooner. You're a gooner, KJ. For
take it from me, bro. Seeing honestly, seeing the 4P or seeing these guys draw with our league titles are gonna make me sad. It's gonna make me sad. I'd rather listen to Arsenal fans all summer. No, seriously.
No, I would feel like Arsenal would. Like, it would be almost worse, obviously, for Arsenal to win it, because at least with Liverpool, listen, rivalry, of course.
No.
Hold on. At the same time, when you're looking at it, the reality is you all know Arsenal fans. You know the behavior is going to be off the Richter scale if they were to win the Premier League. So if they do that, at least with Liverpool, there's going to be the banter. Yeah, we drew level. We're not ahead of you. We drew level. So it's not like we're clear of you by 3. And you already know Liverpool is a historic.
My order is I'd rather Arsenal than Liverpool than City, like that. So I'll get your point. There's a really interesting comment here. It says, Terry, would you keep Ten Hag in a job if it meant Arsenal beat like Man United? See, that's too far. And I'll tell you why that's too far. Because that would damage Man United's progression. And I wouldn't, if someone said to me now, City are going to win the 4P, but with the butterfly effect, it is the kickstart of you guys getting back to the top, I'd take it. Because at the end of the day, my team would become better. And that's all I really want, is my team to become better. But at the same time, like, I don't like the idea of history being made by clubs. And what City would be doing is beyond history. Liverpool would match us on titles, which is history. But it's much more likely that in our lifetime we can overtake them again than it is doing a 4P. So this title race is heating up. Yeah, listen, this title race has never been off for a single moment in the last week. Do you guys think Sir Jim has the balls to sack Ten Hag? Yes.
No. Yeah, sack him today or this week? Probably not. But
KJ, that's what should happen. But why hasn't it?
I'll tell you why. It hasn't happened. I've got a theory on this. Clubs are looking at Ten Hag. Man United, like all clubs, have to be prudent with money because of how much we're allowed to spend and not. There is a possibility that the likes of Ajax come in for him. And if Ajax come in for him, we don't have to pay him 15 to 20 million pound in compensation. We'll just they'll pay us. So I think there's the element, again, yes, I'd like him to go and you bring in a little interim, you try and win this trophy, right? That'd be amazing. But you might still lose that final, right? That's a really high risk.
Yeah.
The Man United board might be looking at this and saying, we might be able to save 20 million pound by another club coming in and paying us compensation, or we at the very least agree to let him go for nothing because he's walking into another job. If that 20 million pound is pumped into the squad to help make us better, sometimes not every decision. Again, we want the knee-jerk reaction today, and I get why, but I'm still putting faith in the people now running our football club because they've got great CVs and pedigrees in the game. So I have got a message, though, from a journalist that's saying he's meeting his Man United insider on Tuesday for an update on things. So hopefully we'll get some movement by then. Look, I want to thank everyone that has tuned in today and everyone that's... I'm actually going to go and cool my head in a cold shower because I'm feeling raging still. I want to... viewers and super chatters, you're amazing. My panel, you've been out of this world. Go and check out the new podcast right now on the squad by scanning the QR code on the screen or clicking the link below. We'll be back tomorrow with some content in the day, plus the Top 6 show back at 6 p.m. tomorrow. Make sure you are all there. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. Commiserations to Coventry. Well done for Liverpool on the win. And I suppose well done
to Man United. Nice job.
Boo.